video presentation, video lecture on understanding the self. So for this day, we shall be discussing about another part of unpacking the self, and that has something to do with the material self. Material self is also known to be that part that is also termed to be as the economic self. So for starting this time until to the end of our discussion, we shall be focusing ourselves, of course, of the things that are physically there, of the things, of the material rather, of the materials and the possessions that we have. But again, I would just like to reiterate that this material self part is actually another fort or another area of our totality. And whether you like it or not, everybody, every one of us possess this material self or this economic self. Now, we will go by the mantra, I shop, therefore I am, I have, therefore I exist, in the course of our study for this day about the material self. Because again, we will be focusing ourselves on discussing, on giving you an idea on why there is an urge for us to have something or to possess something in that note. But before that, let me ask you a single question. What if you win the lottery? How happy would you be? Well, you are in the position to assess yourself in that note. Just in case you won the lottery, and we all know for a fact that the prize pot in the lottery is really that big. So if you won it, how happy would you be in a rate from 1 to 10? Well, I hope, and I know for a fact, that most of you, if not everybody, would be telling me that they would rate their happiness by 10. Why? Let us not be hypocrite about it, because I know that every one of us would become happy if we have the money. Kahit i-deny, kahit i-affirm or not, lahat tayo, we would be happy kapag may pera tayo. Not because we are selfish enough to gain money, but because we need it. Whether we like it or not, kailangan po natin ng pera para mabuhay, no? And again, it's normal that we wanted to have money. Kasi nga, there is actually a necessity for us to have our money para nga mabili natin, especially those things that we needed to survive. But what's not normal ay kapag hindi na kayang kontrolin yung urges to have something or to have the money. Now, why did I ask you that question? Simply because in our discussion in material self today, it would be focusing on our likelihood to have something, to possess something. And that's perfectly fine, because there is a part of ourselves that explain this certain phenomenon. Now, that being said, we are actually living in a world of sale and shopping spree. Now, how many times did you saw yourself being budol by Shopee just recently in its 2-2 promo, or in Lazada? Or how many of you have online applications for online shopping installed in your phone? Nandiyan si Shopee, nandiyan si Lazada, si Zalora, si Shein, and so many more. Even sa Facebook. Sa Facebook na dahil after the pandemic, everything else went online. Lahat nakikita natin, no? And we are actually given so many choices. We are given a wide array of things, of products to choose on what to purchase. No, it can be as simple as a set of a spoon and fork hanggang sa pagiging komplikado and as big as owning a restaurant. Now, you can find them everywhere, no? Online. Kahit nakaupo ka lang, you can see so many things. And these things are actually tempting us that we buy them. No? Kahit minsan hindi na kailangan. You just see yourself buying these things, no? At natatambak lang yan from time to time, no? And who is to blame? Of course, partly we are to blame, but of course, now that we are in the digital era, yung digital space kasi is widely consumed, no? And you can see so many promotions, so many advertisements of these products that eventually would end up you buying. Now, bakit meron tayong part ng sarili natin that we wanted to buy and to buy and to buy and to possess something? Simply because when we see something, when we see this product, when we see this thing, it gives us a suggestion. This advertisement gives us suggestions that it could be better for us. And in the moment that we saw this product to be better to us, and then we got it, nabili mo na, na-purchase mo na, eventually feel good. And that is nothing to worry about. Because whether you like it or not, the things that you want, the things that you possess, actually are connected to who you are. Yes. Pansinin nyo, no, sa mga Shopee accounts ninyo, sa Lazada accounts ninyo, i-check ninyo yung mga naka-add to cart ninyo, you would come to realize that all of these things simply has something to do about who you are. No, because we regard our possession as part of ourselves. Our possessions, the material things that we have, the things we label to be mine, to be ours, no, yung mga produkto, yung mga gamit na nililabel mo as mine, makikita mo that this actually tells something about your identity. No, yung kagustuhan natin magkaroon ng kung anong gamit, ng kung anong bagay, lahat po yan ay may sinasabi patungkol sa ating sarili. Now, when we talk about the material self or the economic self in some people, this has something to do with the part of ourself that is associated with what we possess. Now, when we say what we possess, the things that we call mine or ours. Now, so of course, it can be your body, money, of course, including your family. Kasi meron kang last name, surname ka, the fact that you have your own name, your own surname, no, your family, meaning that is already considered to be a part of your material self. And it also includes everything that we have, your cell phone, your clothes, no, everything that you know that you possess, that you have, whether it was given, whether it was purchased, all of these things are actually part of the material self. Now, material possession in that note, you already know that it signifies one's identity. It gives you a hint on what is the sense of identity of a certain person based on the things that he or she possess. Now, basically, in the discussion of the material self, one of the most prominent personalities always highlighted is no less than William James. Because in the world of psychology, William James is very much known for giving a fully detailed and comprehensive explanation on the different aspects of the self. No? And malinaw na malinaw kay William James that the material self has something to do with the identity or the self-concept of a certain individual. No? And he believed that possessions, no, material things, are viewed to be extension of an individual's identity. No? And he was also the one who coined the theory on the constituents of the material self. And there are 4 constituents according to William James. These are the body, clothes, immediate family, and home. Now, let us discuss all of these constituents. And ito naman very self-explanatory lang. You can be able to understand it very, very well because you have all of this. Every one of us have this. Let us start with the body, the first constituent of the material self. Body is, of course, the innermost part of our material self. The fact that we have a body, the fact na meron kang sarili mong katawan automatically defines your material self. And intentionally, we invest in our body. Why? Because we don't want to get sick. Kasi una-una, pag nagkasakit tayo rin ang mahihirapan. We could not perform the things that we usually do. No? And again, the word is intentionally. We invest in ourselves. For instance, lahat tayo ngayon nag-face mask. Why? Because we don't want to get sick. And yung pag-invest sa face mask, no, yung hindi lang tayo yung basta bibili ng face mask. Gusto natin yung ganitong kulay, gusto natin yung ganitong style. gusto natin surgical, yung iba gusto naman woven, yung iba non-woven. And it tells something about their personality. Makikita ninyo kahit sa face mask lang, no? Merong iba, inuulit-ulit yung face mask. Meron namang iba, isang gamit tapon. No? At makikita mo, meron ng hint doon ng kanyang personality. No? And of course, we make sure that our body functions well. Because in the first place, tayo po ang may responsibility sa ating katawan. You already know that when we discuss the physical self, no? But of course, this is very much different because this is just a part of the material self, meaning this is just a constituent of the material self. But it will all boil down into you knowing and identifying that you needed to take care of yourself. And as long as our body is concerned, basically we have this so-called preferential attachment to some of our body parts because we believe that these parts are actually beneficial to us, gives us a certain good feeling. No? For instance, ako, one of my preferential attachment, of course, is my voice. Sa body ko, my voice. Yung lalamunan, yung vocal cords, because I am a teacher and puhunan ko talaga yung boses. Because once mawalan ako ng boses, it would be hard for me to discuss things. And that is an example of preferential value. Yung iba naman, halimbawa yung mga model, they invest so much on their legs. Pinapaganda ang legs. Yung iba, ini-insure yung legs. No, because this are giving them job. Binibigyan sila ng trabaho, nabubuhay sila dahil sa mga ganitong klase ng nature ng work. So of course, they really have to take good care of this preferential attachment. And I know for a fact, everybody of us thinks of something that has preferential attachment in regards to our body parts. Okay, second is the clothes. You already know that clothes is actually, or clothing style rather, is actually a form of expression. Makikita natin sa pananamit, no? Of course, you can see different clothing styles. Meron dyan sa mga girls, no? Yung kikay, meron naman yung casual, meron naman yung professional, meron yung laid back, meron yung mga rockista. No? And all of these things actually says something about yourself. In the same manner in color psychology, no, alam niyo na yan that we wear certain colors based on our emotions or on how we feel. For example, kapag pupunta kayo ng Patay sa Lamay, we already know that kapag sa Patay tayo pupunta, ang susuot nating kulay, no? Usually, ang mga sinusuot nating kulay ng damit is either black or white or yung mga dull colors, yung mga patay na kulay, because it shows that we are actually sympathizing with the ones na nagkaroon ng patay. Hindi tayo magsusuot ng mga bright colors because we are actually getting the idea that when we are wearing something bright, ay masaya din tayo, no? And if we see someone wearing bright colors, yung personality nila ay attached na rin doon, alam na natin. So that is why, that's the reason why we choose and we wear clothes that reflect us. No? Kasi nga, yung clothing style natin really has something to do on how we portray ourselves. Of course, we won't feel good if we don't wear good clothes. No? And all of this are plainly based on what we think about ourselves. Kasi anyway, tayo yung nakakaalam. Bagay ba sa akin? Hindi ba bagay sa akin? No? And of course, malalaman na agad, may idea na kaagad yung mga tao kapag nakita nila yung mga damit mo or kung paano ka manamit. Okay, the third constituent of the material self is actually your immediate family. Yes, your family is actually your possession, one of your prized possession, because they are the ones that likely shape and influence the development of self-identity. Why? Kasi syempre, pamula ng bata hanggang sa lumaki ka, sila ang kasama mo. When I say immediate family, these are your nana, your tata, your kuya, your ate, and if you have your lola living with you, yon, immediate family yon. The ones that you live in sa inyong bahay. No? What they do is actually, what they do or what do they become actually affects us. No? Because we see them as the nearest replica of yourself. No? Kaya magugulat ka minsan yung mga habits ng mga magulang mo, nakukuha mo, yung habits ng mga kapatid mo, nagagaya mo na rin because nagiging replica nga tayo kung ano yung ating pamilya. That's also the reason why when pag kunwari may namatayan, pero wag naman sana, no? When an immediate family dies, part of ourselves also dies with them. Parang may kulang pag merong namatay sa immediate family. In the same manner, kapag meron naman nag-succeed, mas doble yung victory na nararamdaman ng mga immediate family members. Mas doble yung nararamdaman mo kapag merong mga honors, achievements, no? May pride sa pamilya, nararamdaman mo rin yun. Kagaya halimbawa kapag meron din na agrabyado sa pamilya, you would not like that one of your family members would be put into a disadvantageous scenario or situation, but when it does, you find ways not to help. There is this urge to help that family member. Well, kapag meron naman din nagkamali, you share the same guilt and the same shame. And because that is how your immediate family works. That's how the family works. Because primarily, this is one of the prized possessions that we have. No? Kaya nga meron tayong surname na pare-pareho sa pamilya because that's a certain pride, it's a certain possession that hindi basta-basta makukuha sa'yo. And whether you like it or not, your family actually becomes a part of your identity, becomes a part of who you are. Na di ba paminsan naririnig nyo, ay anak pala yan ni ganito, kaya ganyan. Uy, anak yan ni ganito, kaya pala mabait, kasi mabait ang pamilya na yan. Nanlalabel, that's just stereotype. And the fourth constituent is home. Because this is the earliest nest of our selfhood. Bakit nest? Of course, because this is where our family lives. Nasabi nga, if only the walls could talk. Including yung unan na iniiyakan mo tuwing gabi is actually a part of home. No, and all of these things, no, lahat na experiences mo since you were born hanggang sa kung sino ka ngayon, there is actually something that lies about yourself and your identity sa inyong pamamahay. You know? Go inside your room, look around, and you will see that there is something, no? Merong sinasabi ang kwarto mo tungkol sa pagkatao mo, which is different to the kwarto of your kapatid, or which is different from the kitchen, na ang nagmamando ay ang mama mo or ang mami mo, which is different from the garage, or if there's a man cave, no, yung pang kay daddy mo lang, or sa kuya mo lang, or sa kapatid mong lalaki, very much different yan sa sarili mong kwarto, no? And it tells something about your identity. No? Now, having said all of that, we, no, people are likely to produce or to purchase products rather that are actually relatable to who we are. And this material possession signify aspects of ourselves. No? But unfortunately, possession is sometimes regarded to as a status symbol. Of course, may mga collection, no? Heart Evangelista collects this luxurious bags. May mga plantito-plantita tayo that collects certain plants. No? At syempre, pabonggahan, pamahalan. Kaya paminsan, bumibili tayo ng mga gamit na kahit hindi talaga natin afford, binibili natin for us to say, para mas may masabi sa atin yung ibang tao na, ay, nakakaluwag-luwag to sa pamumuhay. No? Because whether we like it or not, yung material possession actually has something to do with our status symbol or our place in the society. Now, given that the society is like this, we can do something about it. No, hindi natin kailangan makipag-compete when it comes to our material possessions, more so of our material self. No? So, paano natin yan magagawa? How could we do something for us to be able to realize that it's not just about competition because our possession primarily tells something about ourselves? Number one, when you wanted to buy something, isipin mo, is it a need or a want? Basically, you already have an idea on the difference of these two because needs are the ones that you should be buying first because these are essential for survival. Yung wants naman, pwede naman siya isang tabi, no? Because these are considered luxuries. You can survive even without it. No? Kumbaga mga accessory na lang yan. Now, if you wanted to buy something, think of it first, no? Give it a time for you to be able to realize. Ito bang iniisip kong produkto, need ba to o want? If it's a need, okay, buy it. But if it's a want, pwede naman siguro i-prolong. No, pwede naman siguro i-suspend muna. Now, that being said, kung naisip mo na if it's a need or a want, and it so happened na pumasok naman siya sa want, and pwede mo naman siyang mabili given that you have the money to buy it. Number 2, you identify its utility and its significance. Come this first quarter of 2021, di ko alam kung makikita niyo, pero nag-boom talaga yung bentahan ng air fryer. No, at makikita niyo yan sa kahit na saan, lalo na sa Facebook, no, meron ng meme nakalagay doon. Lahat ba may air fryer na? Kasi sumobra nga yung sikat ng air fryer pagpasok ng January 2021. Now, if you are considering buying an air fryer, think of this. Its utility and significance. Utility-wise, does it serve its purpose? What's the purpose of an air fryer? Magprito na walang mantika. Does it serve? Okay, it served. Check. Now, proceed to its significance. Air fryer lang po ba ang may kayang gumawa niya? Of course not. Kung meron kang oven, pwede naman sa oven. Pwede ka rin mag-bake kahit walang oil. No, there are so many substitutes for it. Or, come to think of it, pwede ka naman magprito with or without oil. Hindi lang air fryer ang nakakagawa niya. So, when you decided between a need and a want, it so happened that it becomes a want, and you have the money to buy it. Proceed to number 2. Identify its utility and significance. After that, sige, okay lang. Kahit meron kaming oven, kahit meron kaming induction cooker, kahit meron kaming frying pan, na pwede naman magprito ng walang mantika and the like. Number 3 is give yourself the 1-month rule. Yung 1-month rule, sinasabi niya, if you really wanted to buy something, you suspend it for another month. Or mga 2 months, at the very least. And then kapag after a month, hindi mo na siya naaalala, no, and you wanted to buy anything, apart from the air fryer, you succeeded. Now, you become wise about your purchasing ability. You were able to control that urge to buy something that is not necessarily for you to buy. Now, at ganyan po dapat ang material self natin. No? We can control urges to purchase something now that you are aware that all of the things that you possess is an extension of who you are. So I hope, my dear students, the message is clear to you that because we have this material self, it's totally normal that we feel the urges to purchase something. What's not normal? When we cannot control it. Because we see and we feel that these material possessions actually tell something about our status in the society, on how we place ourselves in the society. And sa discussion pa lang ng physical self, I hope nagkakaroon na kayo ng idea bakit natin dinidiscuss lahat ng parts ng self na to. Simply because we wanted to have change in the society. And we wanted to feel good, to feel better about ourselves, and this will eventually start from you. Okay? So I hope you got something good today. If you have questions about the material self, you just have to message me in the right forum, and I will be readily answering all of these questions. So I'll see you again next time, and thank you very much, and have a good day. God bless you.